Hey guys, it's Leslie from Cruising with the Royal Fam, and today I'm going to give you a sneak peek inside an interior basic cabin on Adventure of the Seas. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. In general, a standard interior cabin is going to be your most cost-effective option, and that's why we chose this cabin for this trip. The cabin can be set up a couple of different ways according to how many people is going to sleep. Upon booking, you should have the option of setting it up with 2 twin beds or 1 king bed. I believe when I made this purchase, it said the kids would be sleeping either on a bunk, a pull-out couch, or a roll-away bed. My husband and I had not sailed since before COVID, and we had never sailed with our children before, and it was to my surprise that this same interior cabin for 2 people was actually for 4 as well. I guess I always assumed that this kind of cabin would only accommodate 2 people and that 4 people would have a larger cabin, so I think I was in a little bit of shock once we got all of our things in there and the whole family was inside of this cabin. I kind of freaked out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Upon inspecting the room, my kids informed me that there was no pull-out couch. I am not even exaggerating when I say I literally went to get the room attendant and said there is some mistake. I think we got a 2-person room by mistake, and he proceeded to walk me in and show me exactly where the kids were gonna sleep, which was suspended from these bunks that came down at nighttime. At the moment I took this video, I think we were all just in awe as to where we would be spending the week and trying to figure out how we were going to get organized. I had never actually fully unpacked before, but I knew if we were going to make this room work, we had to fully unpack and get these bags out of the way. After unpacking our 6 suitcases and getting organized and waiting on the room attendant to drop the bunk beds, we decided it might not be the most comfortable situation, but the room was doable. I believe the room attendants are directed to put the beds up during the daytime and suspend them back down at night, but after a day or so, we just decided it was more functional for us just to leave the beds down so the kids had somewhere to relax during the daytime. All of the beds were very comfortable. The kids loved the bunk beds, and the king bed was really comfortable. I believe the bunk beds had a maximum capacity of about 330 pounds. The couch was comfortable, and as always with a Royal Caribbean cabin, it smelled fresh and was very clean. There were some ladders that went with the bunk beds, but we ended up kind of tucking them to the side of the bed with our 2 largest suitcases. All of our other suitcases ended up stacked and tucked under the bed. And I might have been able to fit the other 2 under the bed, but I think we just decided to call it a day. I'm also posting a video tour of our next cruise, which was a spacious interior family cabin, and the difference in size was huge. So if you look at this and you're like, wow, this is way too small for us, check out the video, Interior Spacious Family Cabin on the Wonder of the Seas, and that gives you an idea of their spacious family cabins. But like I said, once we got moved in, it wasn't that bad. There was tons of little nooks and crannies where you could store things, cabinets up top, there was a safe and a little slot where I could keep my makeup. There was a small TV. In this cabinet right here was an ice box. It was not a refrigerator. You had to put ice in it, but it would keep your drinks cold for you. In this desk area, there was a few drawers which we utilized for hair tools and some clothes. Over here was a vanity/desk area, and that's where I ended up doing my hair and makeup, and then also where I did my business, because I still run my business off the ship. At first I wasn't sure how that would exactly work out, but with the internet package, everything goes smoothly. There were a couple of shelves here around the mirror and little cabinets, and we didn't end up using these, but they would have been handy for making makeup and things like that. This was really the only table area in the whole room, so it ended up being a spot that we left our waters and our drinks and, kind of accumulated things throughout the day. I really had to go through a couple times a day and keep it organized. Over toward the front of the room was the main closet. Well, I guess the only closet, and that's where most of our clothes were stored. I think the kids had 1 drawer, and then they each had a shelf. And then this is where Jason and I kept our clothes, and our shoes were at the bottom. I mean, it was really a good sized closet. It doesn't look as big as it actually was. There was this little shelf at the top of the closet where we were able to tuck the kids' snorkeling gear away. And I'm so happy that I found a tip to use an over-the-door organizer to keep everything accessible. It is so convenient, and I have done this on every trip since, whether it be on a cruise ship or in a hotel. This thing is amazing if you have a family. So once we got unpacked, the room was very functional and it was comfortable for all of us. I definitely would sail in an interior room again. If it was the difference between sailing and not sailing, I'll definitely sail in an interior room. But I will say that the spacious cabin was a lot more comfortable for the family. But if you're a first-time cruiser, keep in mind that you're not in the cabin all that much. There's always something going on and the kids are pulling you to do all of these activities. So your time in the cabin is really limited anyway. And this was the bathroom. It was kind of just a standard cruise ship bathroom. There was some storage in this cabinet right here. Now the bathroom in the spacious cabin and the bathroom in the standard interior cabin weren't much different. Maybe it was a little bit bigger, but not much. And this is the shower. I always compare it to showering in a porta-john. It's very small and very tight, but you know, it works. The room was cleaned every day and the room attendants were always accessible and friendly. And that's one of my favorite parts of the trip is I don't have to cook or clean or do any laundry the whole trip. And for mom, that's a win. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And check out our video of the tour of the interior spacious cabin on Wonder of the Seas. We've got more videos to come, guys. Thanks for watching.